Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I would love to have you subscribe, like, comment, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So today's video is going to be episode 2 of a series that I'm going to be doing here on my channel. I got this idea from Angelica. She is another creator here on this platform. I absolutely love her. We've actually collabed together before. I've been watching her for quite a while now, and I really just look up to her. I idolize her, and I just love her content. And what she does is she grabs 10 palettes at random out of her collection, and then she sits down and talks to you guys about whether or not she would repurchase these palettes. And I just love those videos. And I did this, last month, I think, for the very first time, and I wasn't real sure I was going to do it as a series, but several of you in the comment section said you would love for me to do this as a series, so I thought, why not? So again, I have grabbed 10 palettes at random out of my collection. There's no rhyme or reason to why I grabbed these palettes. I just grabbed them. So I'm going to start off with the first one here, and this is a drugstore palette from Rimmel, London. This is the Magnifeyes Electric Violet Edition, and this is the only palette that I have from this brand. I do have other makeup items from Rimmel, London that I really like. This is a very nice drugstore palette. I think in the realm of drugstore, this is pretty good. The pigmentation's really nice. The mattes blend well. The shimmers are really pretty. They're not maybe super vibrant. They're maybe like a softer shimmer. I'm noticing that with drugstore palettes, the shimmers are a little sedate, a little tamed down. But I really do like using this. I've used this several times. I don't know that it's the best quality eyeshadow palette in my collection. I mean, it's not. But out of my drugstore palettes, I would definitely say that this is an amazing quality palette, and I would definitely repurchase this one. The next palette is one I also picked up from the drugstore. I got this one at Walmart. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon palette in Petalette. Now, I do have a couple of these. Well, this is the smallest one that I have. The other two that I have are a little bit bigger. And while I do think this is a very pretty color story, the formula is just not the greatest. The mattes just don't really work that well. They don't show up that great. The shimmers are okay. I mean, in a pinch, if, you know, like I couldn't find any of my other palettes and this one was the only one that was available to me, yeah, I would use it. I don't know that I would be thrilled with the performance or with the look that I would create. I don't like to say anything negative about makeup. I really don't. But honestly, out of all of the drugstore palettes that I have, which I have several, this might be one of my least favorites. It just doesn't perform as well as I wish it would. It doesn't perform as well as the other Wet n Wild Color Icon palettes that I have. So I really do not think that I would repurchase this. The next palette is from a US indie brand. This is the Exodo Cosmetics Beautiful Tragedy MUE Valkyrie palette. And I got this after watching Katie from Makeup for Last Time use this on her channel. This is such a beautiful palette. It's a really unique color story in my opinion because it's got a lot of different options in here. I mean, it's a 9-pan palette, but I really think you can do a lot of different things with this. This shade here, this blue shimmer, is just dynamic. It's gorgeous. It lasts really well on the lid. The mattes are really nice. They blend out well. Very cool tone color story. I think this would be perfect for fall or winter, but I don't necessarily base my looks on the seasons. I know a lot of people do that. I don't really do that. I would use this any time of the year. This shade here is really nice. This is a beautiful silver shimmer, really nice black matte. I'm so glad I got this palette, and I most definitely would repurchase this again. Not necessarily for the color story even either. The cover is amazing. I mean, this is my spirit animal. When I get up in the morning and I look at myself in the mirror, this is who I wish I would see. This is who I think I'm going to see when I wake up in the morning. I look like a hot mess, and this is anything but a hot mess. She's a hot babe. The next palette is the Colourpop Aura and Out palette, and I got this shortly after it released. I just thought it was a really pretty color story, and I really wanted to have some more like pastel leaning palettes in my collection. The only thing that may turn people off to this palette is there's not any deepening option at all in this palette. But you know, some of you like to have softer eye looks, and this is perfect for that. Very nice formula. The mattes and the shimmers are really pretty. I've only used this palette like 2 or 3 times, but I really did like the looks that I created. It does have a nasty pressed glitter in here. I do not like the Colourpop pressed glitter formula. So honestly, it's kind of a waste of a shade. And I know that I could pop that out and put something else in here. I just am lazy and have not done that yet. So yeah, I think if you want a nice pastel palette, I don't know if this is still available. I think it is. I think I've seen it not very long ago on the Colourpop website. I would check this out. I think it's really nice. And so yes, I would definitely repurchase this palette again. Then I got the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions palette in a boxy charm. And this is one of my favorite green palettes in my collection. It's gorgeous. I don't really have a whole lot of experience with this brand. I have this palette. I have the Smoky Obsessions palette that I also got in a boxy charm. but I love it. I've only used this palette one time and I love the look that I created. This shimmer right here, it's kind of a goldy green. It's gorgeous. They're very thick, opaque, kind of buttery shimmers, and they just apply beautifully. The mattes are really nice. I love green eyeshadows. I live for green eyeshadows. So although I didn't really like purchase this palette because I got it in a BoxyCharm, I would definitely purchase this palette again. I didn't purchase it the first time, but I would get it again. Then we have the Artemis palette from Alter Ego. Now this is the dupe for the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. And while I don't have a ton of experience with Natasha Denona palettes, I have a few of the smaller palettes that I got in BoxyCharm a while back when I was getting BoxyCharm. Those are amazing. Her shimmer formula will blow your brows right off your face. But this is very nice too. It's a much cheaper version of the Metropolis palette. And you guys know me, I am cheap as hell. So this is perfect for me. I love the color story. I love the mattes and the shimmers. This is just a fun palette to use because there's a lot of different options in here, which I love that in a palette. So while the quality may not be the same as the Natasha Denona palette, I do think this is very nice. I love it. And I would definitely, oh yes, most definitely repurchase this baby. Then I have the Makeup by Lisa You're Out of This World eyeshadow palette. Now I found this brand, this is a UK indie brand, and I found it through Steph, not your basic Steph, my bestie. And she has beautiful palettes from this brand. I have this one and one other palette that I've used in a video, a collab video with Steph. It's the Raven's Castle palette. I'm sure I will pull that in at some point too throughout this series. This is such a gorgeous palette. The formula is so nice. The shimmers are very flippy. They're beautiful. The mattes blend like a dream. We do have a pressed glitter here, but it's a very finely milled pressed glitter, so you can apply it and remove it very easily. It doesn't fall all over your face, doesn't get in your eye. I mean, it's never done that to me before, and I've used it a couple of times. I actually use this to create an eyeliner, and it worked beautifully. It looked really cool. I really hope that you guys will check out this brand. I'm gonna have the website linked in my description box, Makeup by Lisa. She is amazing as a brand owner. She is so kind, so nice, so helpful. She's gone kind of above and beyond for me when I first started investigating her makeup products. She helped me out when I wasn't able to order off the website, and I was so impressed by that. So I can't say enough good things about this brand. I just love it. I love the packaging, the formula, color story, everything. I'm so glad that I found this brand through Steph, and I know I'm going to be getting many more things from this brand in the future. Then I have the Queen palette from Eloise Cosmetics. This is a UK indie brand, and I did get this in a BoxyCharm, so technically I didn't really purchase this, but I mean, I kind of did through BoxyCharm. Anyway, I try to sit and analyze that forever. I did use this on my channel before. Steph and I did a palette bingo with this palette. It's gorgeous. The mattes work really well. The shimmers are that like thick, buttery, opaque formula, which I just love. Kind of similar to the Juvia's Place shimmers, I would say. I haven't used this in a while, and I really don't know a whole lot about this brand. I do have a liquid shadow, kind of a bronzy toned liquid shadow that I got in a BoxyCharm from this brand as well. I need to get that out and use it, put it on my desk. I just need to load my desk up with all the things that I forget to use so that I'll actually use them. But I think this is a really beautiful color story, a lot of different options in here. So yes, I would definitely get this palette again. Then I have the Nomad Cosmetics Cartagena Magica palette, and this is stunning. You guys know how much I love Nomad Cosmetics. I haven't used this palette a whole lot. This is probably the least used palette I have out of my Nomad palettes that I have in my collection, although the Tuscan palette, I haven't used that very often either. I think this is such a gorgeous, bright, vibrant color story. The mattes work well, the shimmers work well. I mean, any shade that you pull out of a Nomad Cosmetics palette is gonna work like a dream. I just need to use this more. I would definitely repurchase this. I think it's a beautiful color story. I can't say enough good things about this brand. I love the packaging. I love all the palettes that I have from this brand. So yeah, this is a total gimme. I would definitely, most definitely repurchase this palette. The last palette is the Athena palette from Dido Cosmetics, and I got this off the Ipsy shop several months ago. And when I first got this palette, I didn't really know what to expect because I really hadn't heard a whole lot about this brand. I do now have the Venus palette from this brand as well. I got that in a BoxyCharm several months ago, and I love that palette. It's beautiful. It's very neutral, but it's so nice. And I was so pleasantly surprised by this palette. It is gorgeous. The formula is really nice. The quality is great. The shimmers and the mattes work very nicely. This one right here, this kind of, I don't know, murky green satiny shimmer is so pretty. And I love the color story. It's got a really nice mix of like greens, yellows, oranges, some neutral options. It does have what I would consider close to a pressed glitter. Not exactly. It's pretty finely milled, so it goes on your lid very easily, comes off easily, works beautifully. And I would definitely repurchase this palette. And I really do want to try more from this brand. I don't need any more eyeshadow palettes, but this one and like I said, the Venus palette, they're so nice. So yeah, maybe I might have to treat myself to another Dido Cosmetics palette. No, stop it. No, no, no. There you have it. Those are the 10 palettes that I selected at random out of my collection to discuss with you about whether or not I would repurchase them. And I think out of the 10 that I showed today, there was what, one palette that I wasn't going to repurchase, right? One, two, I think one. And last time there was 2 palettes that I would not repurchase. So I think how I'm looking at this is that I feel like I've done a pretty good job in selecting palettes that I like, that are good for me to use, that I enjoy using. If I sat down with 10 palettes and said that I would not repurchase all of them, that might be a little bit of a problem. I might have to really do a serious declutter, really do some reevaluating of my collection. But it does make me feel pretty good that out of the 10 that I showed, there was a very small amount, a little fraction of what I would not repurchase. So hooray. And I would love to know if you guys have these palettes, what you think of them, if you would repurchase them. I love to talk about that in the comment section, so please let me know. And like I said, I'm going to be doing this as a series on my channel. I think I'll do this maybe once a month, so keep your eye out for episode 3. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your busy day or evening to sit down and watch my video. It always means the world to me. If you have subscribed or you would like to subscribe, do not forget to hit the notification bell. That way you're aware of all of my future uploads. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video, but in the meantime, please take care of yourself, be well, safe, happy, and I hope to see you very soon. Thanks again, you guys. Take care. Bye.
Drop it.